Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom.
It's day 2 of our TOEIC unit, and we're kind of focused on animals and helping stray animals and some of the words you would use. And also, I know in our first program, we talked about ways to phrase questions about a company's services. For example, a hotel. How much do you charge for a standard room? Or at a vet, how much would you charge if I wanted to get my animal vaccinated or had him tested generally to see if he's in good health? Maybe your dog just is kind of moping around, which means they're kind of dragging around. They don't seem like themselves. They seem tired, but they're not limping. They just seem like they have no energy. You might want to take them to the vet to have them just run some tests to see if they're okay.
That's what you can do if you find a stray dog. But if you are in a shelter and you've got some dogs there you'd like to have people adopt, well, then you might send out a sort of flyer like the one we're going to look at today in our TOEIC lesson for our unit today. We want to find a forever home for a dog named Luna. Okay, so let's find out what this is all about. Let's listen to our lesson right now, and we'll be right back to talk about it. Luna needs a forever home. Breed, mixed breed. Age, 2 years old. Gender, female. Meet Luna, a gentle and intelligent mixed breed dog who has been waiting patiently for her forever home. She arrived at our facility 3 months ago after being rescued from the streets. Despite her difficult past, Luna is friendly, optimistic, and shows tremendous affection toward both our staff members and visitors. Luna gets along well with other dogs and behaves calmly around children. She has completed basic obedience training and responds well to commands in both Mandarin and English. Her moderate energy level makes her suitable for living in an apartment, but she still needs daily walks and occasional outdoor playtime. Please note that Luna has a slight sensitivity to loud noises, such as fireworks and heavy traffic. So a quieter neighborhood would be ideal. Additionally, Luna has been spayed and is up to date on all vaccinations. Adoption requirements. Stable housing situation with landlord approval if renting. Previous experience with a pet is preferred. Financial capability to cover veterinary expenses. Commitment to provide regular exercise and mental stimulation. Agreements to follow up visits within the first 6 months of adoption. Luna is currently staying at our shelter in Taichung and is available for visits by appointment. If you're looking for a loyal and loving companion, Luna might be the perfect match for you. Visit www.taichungshelter.org/Luna to apply for adoption or schedule a visit today.
Okay, guys, let's dive in. Luna is a dog, a female dog. Luna is a female name. It's kind of a funny name. They use the name Luna in the Harry Potter books and movie series. And she was kind of weird. She was a fanciful kind of a girl who liked to dream and look into the sky. But Luna is a girl's name. This dog is a mixed breed. What is that, Tom?
Mixed breed is basically a mutt. It's a nice way of calling a dog a mutt. It's not a purebred dog. It's probably got different sorts of colors and things like that. Don't knock mixed breed dogs, though, because they tend to get sick less often than purebred dogs. But still, some people like to spend the money and get, a Chihuahua or a Pomeranian or whatever because they're kind of expensive and they can show off their dogs to other people or something. But yeah, shelters usually have mixed breed dogs, or mutts as we call them. And this one is actually 2 years old, and she's a girl. She's female. That's her gender.
Mm-hmm. I think Luna is a good name for the dog because they describe Luna as being gentle and intelligent. Luna in the Harry Potter books and movies was pretty intelligent as well and gentle. Mixed breed, as Tom said, we call them mutts, M-U-T-T, a mutt. Most of our dogs were mutts growing up except for 2. One was an Irish Springer Spaniel, who is Maverick, and we loved our Maverick. So cute. That's probably my favorite pet of all time. And then we had a Cocker Spaniel that my dad wasn't around and my mom had a soft heart. And we went to the pet shop and she actually let us buy the Cocker Spaniel, which was purebred. But then my brother ran over it.
Oh, no. On purpose or
No. My parents were out of town. He was 16. He wasn't supposed to drive the car while my parents were gone. And I was in the car too. So I was somewhat responsible for the death of a really cute pet.
Oh, no.
And our younger sisters didn't talk to us for a while.
Well, sometimes these things happen. Of course, as you know, dogs and cats don't live very long. Someday, of course, you're going to have to say goodbye to your beloved pet. But here we've got Luna, and she needs a forever home. And here's how the flyer begins. It says, Meet Luna, a gentle and intelligent mixed breed dog who has been waiting patiently for her forever home. And I suspect that this flyer also includes a picture of the dog. This is probably a post online or whatever, people checking into the website of this particular shelter, which is actually in Taichung, I believe. I don't think it's a real one. I think we made it up for this particular article. But in any case, we're describing this dog as being gentle. She's nice. She's intelligent. She's mixed. She's a mixed breed dog. And she's waiting patiently for a new home. I think something that should also include is, does she bark a lot? Because, of course, people mostly live in apartments here in Taiwan. And if you have a dog that's barking all the time, you will make your neighbors really angry.
We had a big dog on the top floor of my building about 15 years ago that would just bark and bark. He was a big dog, so his bark sounded like, you know, he was going to eat you. But yeah, the neighbors were so angry about it because the owner would leave him home and he would bark all day. So finally the owner had to move out. He tried to take him to work with him for a while, but finally the boss said, no dogs at work either. So he moved. Yeah, you got to be careful there. You don't want to make your neighbors hate you because of your pet. Well, little Luna arrived at the shelter, the facility, they're calling it, 3 months ago after being rescued from the streets. So she was a stray as well. It's a stray dog. A facility is a place that's built for a specific purpose. Could be a building or an area that's designed, for example, sports. Maybe there's a baseball field at a school across from you, which I have a baseball field across from me. But yeah, facilities, they would call it a sports facility with just, not plural. But what are the facilities like? It could mean all of the extra things that maybe a resort has. Maybe you're staying at a hotel that has a golf course and a tennis court and a basketball court. You're going to ask about the other facilities. It could include a gym and a pool too.
Indeed. So, of course, this is the animal shelter here. It's a facility, and the dog has been there for 3 months. She was rescued from the streets. They found her running around, getting into trouble, maybe getting hurt and things like that. So they brought her in and gave her a temporary home. Despite her difficult past, even though she had a difficult past being a street dog, Luna is friendly, optimistic, and shows tremendous affection toward both our staff members and visitors. Now, not all stray dogs are nice dogs, of course, when they bring it into the shelter. It could still be pretty mean. My sister adopted, I think it was a Doberman Pinscher mix or something like that. That was a stray dog as the result of the hurricane in New Orleans or something like that. She adopted it, but we can't go to her house because that dog bites people, and it just never learned how to be a nice dog. It's a mean dog, and we just don't go there because of that dog. I would like to shoot it myself, but I think that's against the law.
Tom, you can't shoot your sister's dog.
I'm sure she wouldn't mind.
Some of the dogs in the shelter have been abused or mistreated by previous owners. Sometimes that can change. You can give them a lot of love. But sometimes perhaps they're too old to change. So you have to be really careful, especially if you have little kids. You want some really gentle animals to be around your kids. So she had a difficult past, but Luna is great. She's still friendly and optimistic and shows tremendous affection toward both our staff members and visitors. Tremendous means a lot. Great, it can mean great as well. Maybe you have a friend who is in a talent show and they ask you, how did I do? You were tremendous. You were fantastic. You were amazing. So she shows a lot of affection towards the people who come.
Indeed. So that's a good kind of dog that lots of people would like to adopt.
Sure.
And Luna gets along well with other dogs and behaves calmly around children. So that just shows that this dog is pretty good for children, and it's also good if you have other dogs in your house, or if you just have lots of people there, kids or something. It sounds like the dog will get along with them pretty well. The dog won't try to bite them or give them rabies or whatever. And the information goes on to say she has completed basic obedience training and responds well to commands in both Mandarin and English. Now, obedience here is based on the word obey. Obey means you do what you're told to do. If you're in the army, for example, and your commanding officer gives you an order, you have to obey that order or else you'll get in really big trouble. And obedience is the noun form here. Dogs often have to go through obedience training, so they're not so naughty, okay? They'll sit down when you tell them to. They'll stop barking when you tell them to or whatever. That's a hard one, though. It's hard to stop dogs from barking. They just have that basic desire to bark all the time. But yeah, it's obedience training, getting them to do what you say. And also you can give them these commands in Mandarin and English. Mandarin, I think, is like guanhua, as they translate it in English. But here, of course, in Taiwan, you say guoyu, but we say Mandarin to specifically indicate this language. Mandarin does mean guanhua, the language of, I guess, the emperor.
Ooh, so what's a command? A command is an instruction that someone or something, it could be an animal or a person, is given by somebody with some authority. So soldiers are often asked to follow the commands of their leaders, right? Well, dogs are asked to be obedient to the commands of their owner, or if they're in obedience school, which they do have obedience school for dogs. We took our dog to an obedience school. Maverick, our favorite dog, he went through the whole program and learned nothing. So I think it depends on the dog. He's a very smart dog, but he wanted to do what he wanted to do. But he loved us, so there are good things about your pets, even if they don't obey. But some commands would be like Tom said, roll over, sit. Sit is a very specific thing. You want to have your dog sit down instead of jumping on you. Maverick was really smart, though. He never jumped on my old grandma, who was very fragile. And he also never jumped on any child that was under the age of 5. He would leave them alone. Now, if I went outside, he would jump all over me. He'd want to play. But he was such a smart dog, he never hurt the little ones or the vulnerable ones, the ones who are kind of fragile.
That's important when you adopt a pet here. And the flyer goes on to say her moderate energy level makes her suitable for living in an apartment, but she still needs daily walks and occasional outdoor playtime.
Sure.
Now, as I said earlier, of course, most people in Taiwan, or my impression is that most people in Taiwan live in apartment buildings. So therefore, you have to figure out a dog that is suitable for an apartment. If they're a big dog, well, they need to be outside running around a lot. So a lot of people, of course, have smaller dogs like poodles or whatever. They're more suitable for apartments. I don't like poodles myself, or I don't like small dogs. I like the big ones.
Me too. I have seen big dogs in my neighborhood. I live close to Dunhua. And I'll see people walk their dogs, but I want to say to them, they need to run. Big dogs need to run for their health. They're a lot happier. So if you don't run, get a bike. Get on one of the yo-yo bikes or the bikes that are all around everywhere and ride a bike and let your dog run by the side of you.
You have to have it on a leash, though, I guess, here in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Of course, back in the States, we could find some big park somewhere and let it run wild. You're not supposed to do that, but who's going to see it? You know, the dog's having a great time. And we do that for about an hour, maybe 2 or 3 times a week.
Sure.
And here's the final paragraph. It says, please note, or please remember that Luna has a slight sensitivity to loud noises such as fireworks and heavy traffic. Now, if you have a sensitivity to something, that means you're sensitive to something. It affects you in a negative way. So if you hear loud noises like fireworks going off, or if you hear heavy traffic or explosions or whatever, you're going to be sensitive to that. It's going to make you feel bad. You'll feel scared and things like that. You might have a sensitivity to certain kinds of smells, for example. Oh, I can't eat chou tofu. It makes me throw up if I smell it. Now, that's for me. I never did actually enjoy chou tofu. I just can't understand why people would want to eat or smell something like that. But in any case, this dog has a slight sensitivity to those loud noises, so you better not take her down to Taipei 101 on New Year's Eve.
Additionally, Luna has been spayed. What is spayed? Spayed means that a female animal, usually a cat or a dog, it could be a rabbit. I have a friend who has a female rabbit. They have some surgery to remove their reproductive organs so that that particular animal cannot have babies. And if you have rabbits, you do not want them to have babies because they just reproduce like crazy.
They breed like rabbits.
They do. That's a saying. They breed like rabbits. Now, if you have a male animal, a male cat, dog, rabbit, whatever, the word is different. The outcome is the same. They cannot have babies. But if it's male, it's neutered. 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 So it's a different way to speak. I asked my friend who just had her rabbit spayed. It's quite expensive. She paid $6,000 NT dollars. And I went, that's craziness. But she loves her little rabbit. So if you love them, you do lots of things for your pets. Now, Luna has been spayed, so she won't be able to have babies. She's also up to date on all her vaccinations. She does not need to be jabbed by any doctor in the future.
Okay, so here are some adoption requirements. Of course, they want to make sure that the dog is going to a perfect home here. You can't just adopt any kind of dog. They're going to check your background and things like that. So first of all, here's one requirement: stable housing situation with landlord approval if renting. So yeah, you've got to be able to pay your rent or you own the house. They want to make sure that the housing situation there is stable, that you're not living on the street or moving all the time, or you're not a student or something, that you have a stable lifestyle. And of course here, approval just means somebody approves of something. It's the noun form. For example, if you want to take a certain class in school or something, well, you might need approval from your parents or approval from a certain teacher. Yes, you can take that class.
Right. You also may need some previous experience with a pet. They say it's preferred. It means you don't necessarily have to have it. But if you were competing for an animal, say two families wanted the same pet at the shelter, if they had experience, they might get the pet first. So experience is good, just knowing that you can handle an animal because you've had one before. You know how to take care of them. You won't go crazy if they bark, and they shouldn't be barking, things like that. Financial capability to cover veterinary expenses. Capability is the power or skill to do something, but here we're talking about money. So financial capability. Do you have the money necessary to cover or to pay for veterinary expenses? That's also important.
Yeah, veterinary, of course, has to do with animal care, paying for shots and things like that. The next point here is commitment to provide regular exercise and mental stimulation. So yes, you have to agree that you're going to give this dog lots of exercise. You're not just going to stick her in a room and you're going to go off to work all day and then party at night with your friends. You need to spend time with the dog, take him for a walk or whatever, and also give the dog some mental stimulation. You know, they like it when you interact with them. Come here, Fido, sit down, have a seat or whatever. Let's play. Here's the ball. Chase the ball or whatever. That's mental stimulation. I suppose you could also ask the dog to maybe recite the Gettysburg Address or something to you like that, but I don't think dogs can do that.
Long speeches in the past by one of your leaders. Yeah. No, I don't think they memorize English yet. There are some pretty smart animals out there, but they're not at that degree. You also have to agree to follow-up visits. Within the first 6 months of adoption, So remember we talked about that word initial? The first visit, the first time you do something is the initial visit. The visits after that first one are called follow-up visits. So you have to agree to come back to the shelter and just check in with them. And they probably want to know how things are going with you.
Okay, so those are the adoption requirements, and we've got some more information here. It says, Luna is currently staying at our shelter in Taichung and is available for visits by appointment. So if you want to check out this dog, you got to call them first and make sure it's okay, set up a time, and you can come over and meet the dog and see if the dog likes you, to see if you like the dog or whatever. They want to make sure that Luna is going to the proper home here. Again, this shelter is in Taichung, and I happen to know a woman that I knew many years ago, I think, that works at an animal shelter in Taichung, Mindy. I don't know if she's the person who works there, but in any case, yeah, I wonder if she's around still, but I haven't heard from her in maybe 20 years or so I don't know if she works at this shelter. But in any case, if you're looking for a loyal and loving companion, Luna might be the perfect match for you. So yes, this sounds like a really sweet dog, a nice dog.
Yeah.
It's not vicious. It's not the kind of dog you want to adopt in order to protect your business or your house from burglars or whatever.
Oh, no. A guard dog looks fierce and mean. And some people need those, but probably not a home that has little children. So they want you to visit their website, and they give you the website address if you want to apply for adoption or maybe even schedule a visit. That's how you go about it. So hopefully someone out there adopted cute Luna. She sounds like a great little dog. We're going to take a break and listen to our Chinese teacher now, guys, and then we'll be back and discuss a couple of questions.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们昨天看林小姐带着捡到的一个流浪的 puppy， 然后呢到了这个兽医那边做一些检查，甚至还愿意 cover 她所有的 expenses， 还愿意 foster 这个小狗。是啊，这个我就觉得真的蛮有爱心的。昨天讲到有一个爱心这个字爱心那个字叫做 compassion。compassion 它的爱心呢，其实是已经付诸行动的这个 compassion， 因为我们其实人都会有 sympathy 嘛，sympathy 人都会有 sympathy， 都会有一点恻隐之心。可是如果你甚至到了愿意付诸行动的时候，这种 compassion 呢，这种怜悯之心真的很厉害。所以现在呢，我们看到这个或许是林小姐吧，还是谁呢？总而言之，替流浪动物来找了一个写了一个贴文。这个贴文就是有一个小狗需要一个 forever home。我们看到这个小狗名字叫做 Luna。Luna 是什么样的一个品种呢？我们当然在这个贴文前面一定要先写这个狗狗的品种 mixed breed。好，你有没有听过米克斯这种品种呢？米克斯就是直接从 mixed 这个字翻过来，因为 mix 其实就是混血的意思嘛。我们台湾有很多的米克斯，只要不是那种纯种正统的某一个 breed， 通常都会用 mix。2岁咯，而且是母母狗。好，那接下来的文字描述第一段当中的第一句我们来看一下。有时候我们国中的时候说，动词原形开头就是祈使句，省略主词 you do something， 可这样怪怪的，对不对？ You meet Luna， 你现在来看看一下这个 Luna， 这样怪怪的。其实英文句子如果是动词原形开头，有时候是省略表示提议的 Let's do something， L-E-T 一撇 S， Let's do something。 我们一起来看看 Luna 吧。这种手法，这种句型有时候常常也会在文章第一段的第一句，特别要介绍某个人地点或者是某一个特别的事物的时候，就是 Let's do something。 所以这是一个特别算是一个句型，而且常常 Let's 会省略。那既然要介绍这个 Luna 的话，就是要又来到描写嘛，描写这一只狗。我们曾经说过，描写文就要利用五官它看起来什么颜色，有多大啦，然后狗有什么味道，当然是狗味。好，所以这就不用特别讲了有什么样的形容词它的性情如何所以在第一段文字描述第一段这个地方会有很多形容词，比如说 gentle、intelligent 这一类的 friendly、optimistic 这种形容词。 那第一段还是不能放过，因为第一句有一个限定用法的关系子句，从 who 一直到句尾，我们这边左右括号起来。那它的先行词就有点长咯，从 Luna 一直到 dog 这个地方都是它的先行词。重点是，其实他是在街头被 rescue 被救援，然后就送到这个 facility 收容所啦。但是不管怎么样呢，他一直都非常的 friendly。第三句咯 friendly optimistic， 然后对工作人员访客啊都非常呢有热情。在第一段的第三句的地方，第一段的第三句我们看到 tremendous affection， affection 就是那种感情的意思，大量的情感，很热情。也就是说他其实跟人相处是很棒的哦，因为第二段接着讲跟其他的狗狗也是可以相处融洽。那这里第二段的第一句 get along well with someone 就是和某人相处融洽的意思。那重点是在孩子周围也非常的冷静，为什么？如果在孩子周围呢会蹦蹦跳跳的啊，会乱咬啊，那这样子不行，可能会不小心伤到小朋友。而且第二段告诉我们已经完成了基本的一些服从训练哦，在第二段第二句的地方，服从训练 obedience training。 obedience 这个字的动词叫做 obey， O-B-E-Y， obey 就是服从的意思，这是它的名词。所以服从训练都已经这个训练好了，对于一些 commands 一些命令，不管是中文英文啊，都可以 respond well， 都可以很好的回应，都听得懂。但是呢要特别注意一下，在第三句的地方，基本上它的 energy level 是 moderate， 就是说也不能说都静在那边，但是也不需要太剧烈，比较中型的中等的这一种运动量，所以可以住在公寓里面，但是还是需要 daily walks， 每天要带它去遛狗一下。然后 occasional 这个形容词可以抓出来， occasional 就是有时候的，有时候会要到户外玩一玩， occasional outdoor playtime 是这样子需求。还是有其他的需求，还有其他特别需要注意的地方，在文字描述的第三段的第一句当中 a slight sensitive to something， sensitivity 指的是敏感，所以 a slight sensitivity to something 对什么东西稍微比较敏感，比如说大声的噪音啊，鞭炮 heavy traffic， 或者是整个交通太繁忙的时候会比较敏感一点。那么最后面就有特别提到啊，他已经绝育了，然后所有的疫苗都打完咯。你看我们中文是这样说，对不对？但是在第三段文字的第二句当中，先把绝育这个字学起来，这个动词叫 spay S-P-A-Y， 当然会用被动，然后动物被执行了绝育。那我们说疫苗都打完咯，现在看到形容词叫做 up to date， up to date 就表示已经更新到现在，跟现在的状况是一样的 up to date， be up to date 已经更新了，所有的疫苗都打完了。所以当然领养会有一些需求，可以看一下接下来的这5个点点，这些领养的需求如果都符合，就可以考虑来领养咯。比如说第一个点点 housing situation， 住房的情况呢必须要 stable 要稳定。如果你是租房子的话，你的 landlord 房东要 approve， 要能够同意你养宠物哦。第二个点点提到 previous experience， 之前的经验是比较 preferred 的，如果你之前曾经养狗的话，那更好哦。第三个点点 financial capability， financial 就是有关于钱的，而 capability 指的就是一种能力，你要有金钱的能力才能够 cover 所有的费用。所以呢，如果说真的有这样一个 pose， 你也符合这些 requirements， 不妨可以用领养代替购买哦。以上是我们今天内容，我是 Anna， 我们下次见。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. Here are our discussion questions. Tom, I'll ask you, what are some good reasons to adopt a dog from a shelter instead of buying one?
I've never actually adopted a dog from a shelter before. All the dogs we had when I was a kid, we picked up as strays, or usually somebody had a dog that had puppies. Would you like a puppy or something like that? Oh, sure, he can come over and be our pet here. But in some cases, though, you want to go find a pet by going to a shelter, or you could go to pet stores and buy yourself one. Of course, there are lots of pet stores in Taiwan that can sell you a dog for a cheap price or an expensive price. But I guess the good reason to adopt a dog from a shelter is that it isn't going to cost you very much, and you're giving a home to a dog that probably would otherwise have difficulty finding a home.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, you're still going to have to pay some fees when you adopt from a shelter. Maybe they've taken care of some of the medical treatment that the dog needed in the past. I've never adopted, so I can't tell you for sure, but Tom and I are pretty close to lots of pet shops on Geelong Road, and they're so cute. I love to walk by. They say don't tap on the windows. You know, I always want to tap on the windows and talk to the little doggies. They're so cute. But they're looking for some love. You know, all of these animals just want some love. And they want to feel like somebody else in their life cares about them and is feeding them and talking to them. Here's the second question. Do you think you're ready to take care of a dog like Luna? And what responsibilities do you think would be hard for you or easy for you, Tom?
It would be easy because I like animals. I would probably be a great owner for this dog. But unfortunately, the house I live is full of junk. There's no room for a dog in there. It's just out of the question. But the responsibilities would be okay. I like taking dogs for walks and things like that. Yeah. It would be easy for me. And, of course, I like to interact with animals. So it probably wouldn't be that difficult for me, except for the fact that our house is a big mess.
Well, I would love to. I can't because I'm allergic to dogs. But I would love to take a dog for a walk and go running with them. I think they're so fun. And they love to be outside. You can just tell how excited and happy they are to run around.
Well, hopefully we've encouraged some of you to actually head down to your local animal shelter and adopt a dog like Luna or other kinds of dogs. I'm sure there are lots of choices there. And good luck with your new pet. That brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Thanks for joining us, and make sure you join us again next time for another edition of our program. Also, remember to check out our content on YouTube and Facebook. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.